You're listening to the second episode of Ralabs Monthly AI Digest. Enjoy the listen. So, hello everyone. Thank you for listening. This is our second podcast with some news from the AI and technical world that happened in March. And on this call, you will listening me. I am Roman, the CEO and co-founder of technical agency Ralabs, and we have a couple more people.
My name is Volodya, and I am automation engineer at Ralabs.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yuri, and I am a software engineer here at Ralabs.
Yeah, hello guys. My name is Serhiy, and I'm lead designer at Ralabs.
Perfect. So as usual, everyone from us has some topics, read some articles, tried some things during the last months, something trending, and would like to share with everyone. As we talked on the previous time, the goal of this podcast is that it's quite like straightforward goal. So there are so many things happening on the AI, so many news this month. There was so many models released as always, so many companies got some investments, so many partnerships. So there are a lot of things. It's hard to follow everything. By the way, I heard a joke that there is only one way how to follow all of the AI updates right now is to be unemployed. Only if you're unemployed, you can really follow everything. So that's what we will do today.
Also, you can ask AI about news in AI.
Yeah. I have a Claude. It's doing deep research every month and getting me like the monthly updates, what happened on this month,
That's nice.
Okay, so let's start. Perfect. So I'll be the first one. I will share a couple things that I think was impressive this month. So first of all, the Perplexity. They had their first conference for developers, Ask 2026, and they announced the product. It's called Personal Computer. It's working on remote. They have a nice website you can see. So how it's working? They have remote. I think Mac Mini. It's working 24/7, and it's joined to some local applications and servers of Perplexity. And when you give a task to AI, you describe what you need, and this computer break the task to smaller subtasks, delegate to agent, and gather the whole result to you. I haven't chance to try this yet, to be honest. I just heard about this. Maybe I am a bit skeptical about this because I tried Cowork from Claude. And like on the previous podcast, I said that Cowork for me was extremely slow for some reason. And some basic tasks, I was trying to do some sort of things with a spreadsheet, some manual things, and it was very slow, some hallucinations. So I always need to rerun this many times to fix the prompt. I don't know. I think it's still too early, but that's probably the good start. And maybe in some time, maybe in a year or more, we will have something, something that can control your computer, and something you can give more complex tasks to that. What do you think, guys? You tried anything like that? Perplexity Computer? Maybe somebody tried OpenClaw?
No, I am really afraid to give access to my computer to AI. I read a lot of news how files were deleted or some other issues, so not sure I am ready to do it right now.
Yeah, same stuff. Like for some simpler automations, Cloud Code or Codex are good enough, and I'm not really sure I want to add full computer permissions to these AI toolings.
Yeah, lots of people they purchased Mac Mini to run OpenClaw. I haven't did this yet, but I have a couple of friends who did this. So,
but still, you have to give these tools access to all your personal data, to your Google account. Some people even provide banking information. So yeah, it's kind of scary.
it's kind of risky. Yeah, might be some risks.
Well, I have an idea. We need to set up a virtual machine and try to ask about to give this AI some tasks. For example, my computer is freezing. what should I do? And let's see the actions that this AI will take. Maybe they decide that Windows is laggy or something like that.
Yeah. Will decide to upgrade your MacBook to Windows machine, you mean? Yeah, makes sense. Okay, so the next I found interesting that was a conference from NVIDIA. They have a Neo conference based in California in San Jose. So they had huge amount of attendees. I think 30,000 or so. Like obviously more than like previous year, and they did a lot of updates there released. You know, you probably as same as me, like some years ago you was waiting for Apple conference that's happening, I think, in September or October, for some new devices, new things. But seems like last year less people attending this conference, so less something impressive happening on the Apple conference. But I think maybe this stage right now is taking NVIDIA. So I feel then more and more people speaking about this conference, more people waiting. Hey, what's news NVIDIA will announce? Like what new models or what new chips NVIDIA will be. So yeah. So this year, how I found about this conference, so about regarding this NemoClaw and OpenClaw. So NVIDIA released their like virtual stack for this. So with just one command, developer can pull it down and start their AI agent. So this is quite interesting for me. I was thinking to try this. They have a funny image you see with Huang, with their CEO, here with Klaus. Yeah, and so they also talked about. I googled what else things they speak about this conference. So they speak about some autonomous vehicles. They speak about robotics a lot. They speak about physical AI. I'm also seeing a trend that uh, that AI is helping with automation on the like physical task, robotic tasks. But overall, this is still seems like this is still a big industry for AI, like physics and robotics. And also, they talked this year about the Space One. You probably heard somewhere in the news about experiment to run AI in the orbit. So in this conference, so they spoke about Space One. This is AI data centers in orbit, and Huang, this guy, their CEO, he said that he actually confirmed that their systems they are developing, they are already being designed to bring AI data centers into orbit. So, and they expect that this Space One module will produce, I think, 25 times more AI compute than current we have. So that's also might be our future. So what else? I also have about.
Wait a second. I remember news about DLSS 5. A lot
Yeah,
of
I
memes
actually
were.
also wanted to tell
About
about
what?
it. DLSS
Yes.
of this conference. During this conference, they announced also DLSS 5. It's like an AI who helps to improve like productivity of your graphic cards, like in the games. And like previous versions, they just were more about an upscale and speed, and DLSS 5 is like more about bringing the graphics to the level of like photorealism. And it was like a lot of jokes because yeah, this technology, actually it's awesome because like in real time you see like converted like graphic to like some photorealism, but like the results in the games, they are not always like very cool. So sometimes they are like it's working not properly. And there was also like a lot of jokes with this Huang, who was like designed via DLSS in a woman or something like that.
It just adds some beautification filter to the games, and the games looks awesome. But a lot of jokes because everything was done by AI, and no one knows what result it would be.
Yeah, so it's not like computing the depths, right, of these 3D models of these 3D worlds. It just like takes like static image and reproduces it in like something else, like in photorealistic world. But yeah, it's that's why it makes mistakes and so on.
I am not a gamer guy, so yeah, so I missed this news. Okay, let's go next. So Anthropic, lots of things as always about Anthropic. Found this image and telling that just during last 1.5 months, like 52 days, Anthropic did 72 releases. So lots of releases to Claude Code, lots of releases to Cowork, lots of releases to API, models, platforms, and so like crazy speed, in my opinion. Except of these updates, you probably all of you heard about the like Pentagon issues and that Anthropic refused to be used as autonomous weapons to mass surveillance of Americans. So that's I think was happening like early in March. And after that, I think Anthropic and Claude, they got more attention from the market. So at least in my network, many people start switching from ChatGPT to Claude. And in United States, there was a like federal ban for federal agencies to use Claude. And you probably heard about this with issues with about Pentagon. So interesting that so many things happening, but despite of these things happening, they released so many new things during 52 days. And yeah, and they also expect to go IPO. Anthropic together with a couple other companies, so they expect to go IPO, I think October this year or end of this year. So this also expected something this year. So what else I have? I also have about the Cursor. So the Cursor, they have a cloud agents. This is ability to run your product somewhere on cloud, like on virtual machine that hosted in Cursor infrastructure. And they just a couple days, you can see this is very fresh news that released in March 25. So they released a feature to run cloud agent on your own infrastructure. So you can have your own like self-hosted agent, you can have your own infrastructure, and you can run like this cloud agent in your infrastructure. So it addressing some of the security aspects, some of the like artifacts sharing, secrets sharing, so everything stays right now in your infrastructure. I was trying last month the cloud agents, and my opinion that it doesn't work for all of the, so it's not silver bullet, it doesn't work for all of the tasks. But I am in process like looking about some specific tasks that might be like delegated to cloud agents. Maybe it's small bug fix, or maybe this is small UI change, especially if you have some Figma reference how it should looks. So like small tasks maybe might be delegated to agents, but my so far experience that I feel like lack of control over the process, and I can just send only prompt and get the full like PR and cannot interrupt in the intermediate. So for me, it's not okay, at least for now. Another one I found, let me guys probably finish and then you can add your comments or we can switch. So I wouldn't take more time. So another one I found about potential new domain .agent might be announced, created sometimes. So this is community, agentcommunity.org, which is looking to make .agent as public domain. What like the goal of this community is to make this domain accessible for all of us, and do not, as I understand, do not allow some specific company like Google or OpenAI to own this big domain. So this is something like we have Go or Edu for education, or for UA for Ukraine, Com for companies, so this is maybe we will have. And if you can submit your domain name, and if you will join, and if you will sign this specific letter, then this domain will be reserved up to you. So there is probably a good chance to reserve some of the good names. But I think that there are already good names probably reserved, but still you can buy something for you.
Could you please check if Jarvis is reserved?
Jarvis, how it's typed?
Yep, we can register it. It's from Iron Man. They had an AI agent who could handle all of the tasks. For example, hey, what's the status of my health? And it just
Okay.
analyzes and just said, hey, it looks like you have a broken, for example, arm, but
Yeah.
everything's working fine.
Yeah. Okay, and the last things I have, probably some of you tried this, but that's news. Google starting releasing this to all of the people. Personally, on my Google Maps, I saw these buttons about interactivity, about ability to speak with Google Maps even before, but maybe right now they are releasing to more people. I don't know how about you guys if you saw this, but this is quite new update about this. So Google Maps, this is two big updates from Google Maps. Google itself, they telling that this is one of the biggest update of navigations for last decade. And they said that, so they have two products, two updates. One is Ask Maps, another one is Immersive Navigation. So Ask Maps, this is, as you can get from the name, so this is ability to speak using human language with your maps. It based on the Gemini, of course, on the Google model, but you can ask some questions using human language. I need to charge my phone. Where is the nearest, I don't know, cafe so I can charge my phone? And it will try to find a cafe with electricity. Or if you are driving somewhere, you can see, by the way, the pictures that car is driving. You can driving somewhere to mountains, let's say, and you have electrical vehicle, and you need to charge it, and you don't want to spend time, to drive somewhere else. So you can tell, hey, Maps, just find me the charging station on the right side of the street, so I would not spend more time to routes. So this is quite interesting. I haven't tried on myself yet, but this is interesting. And another one is immersive navigation. This is, maybe I can find the image, but this is the way how they want to resync. That's maybe would be interesting to you, Serhi. So they want to resync navigation from the 2D mode to 3D view. So they want to render, as you can see on the image, so they want to render the buildings, the nature somewhere pass, and so it will highlight on your road some of the like pedestrians or lights or like stop signs. Yeah, and also I think they adding some human nature notifications like cross this park and turn right. Because right now we have on the Google Maps notifications, right, like drive, like in next 50 minutes turn right. Sometimes you miss this and you got like plus 15 minutes driving. So now it should be more human like.
The interesting thing here is that Apple Maps in the USA, they are working in this mode for a couple of years, I think. So and in general, like Apple Maps, of course, in Europe, they are not so popular and not so precise, I would say, as Google Maps. But the navigation in Apple Maps is much more like suitable for me, for example, because like it oftenly like it happens that you have few turns where you need to turn, and you are turning not in the right one because the Apple Map, Google Maps, like in this navigation mode, they are not very like do not have good as good AI UI. I'm sorry, as in the Apple Maps, and this is very similar to what I have seen in the screenshots of Apple Maps in the USA. And hopefully it will like appear everywhere and will work as I expect, because it's much better, much better.
It will take time to make this working. Right now it's more concept, but I have on my notes, I have that Google Maps, they processing 20 billion kilometers daily, 20 billion kilometers of roads daily, and they have 2 billion monthly users, active users. I remember about, I think, 13 or 14 years ago in Ukraine, we had the meetups like Pacemaker, I think it was called Pacemaker or something like that from the Google, where people joined together, and it was kind of like hackathon to add some new places, new features, new elements on the map. So you can submit you can contribute something like this building is missed, or this road has some gap, or here we have a stop sign, but on the map we don't have. And Google also have this feature, and they have about 500 million contributions every month. So I think you're 100% right that in United States that will be working at first perfectly, but that will slowly adapted to Europe and other countries. So we can expect this maybe next year. It would not be fast, but interesting they are adding this.
I remember one joke related to Ask AI about maps. So when you ask, for example, I am hungry, it can reflect you, oh, you're horny. My apologize.
Yeah.
By the way, it reminded me another joke with guys asking AI, like, my car is dirty and car wash is like 50 meters away. Should I take a walk or should I drive? And almost all models answer that person should walk to car wash.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, guys, who want to be next?
I could be the next one. I have few interesting topics, so I could show you something interesting. I hope you see my screen, but that's not very important if you are listening this podcast. First one, I would like to talk about GPT 5.3 Instant. Instant means that it provides very quick answers without deep analysis. They added a few interesting features here. So first one, the answers are less emotional. So it doesn't ask you a lot of questions like, hey, are you sure it's what you are asking for or something like that. It just provides you clear answers on your request. Also, it has less hallucinations, works better, faster, etc. as all other models as they all of the time means. For example, when you previously used GPT 5.2, when you ask questions, they could answer, for example, why it matters. Maybe you want to do this stuff. My recommendations. Would you like to hear more? On newer model, they just provide you a clear answer for your question. Like, hey, here is the answer. Here is a few options available here, and next steps if you would like to see something. So on the screen, if you are watching this podcast, you could see the difference in answers. But for example, previously this model answered like very blurry. These newer ones answers more detailed with more punctuations, etc. So does anyone uses GPT or you prefer to use something else?
I would say that they would probably better like make them thinking a bit more before giving an answer, because for me actually ChatGPT recently became like very, I'm sorry, but stupid, because if comparing to Claude or Gemini, like it makes so many mistakes for me. I don't know, I just stopped using ChatGPT and that's it.
Same as same situation as storytelling.
Interesting. I have like opposite experience with GPT versus Claude and Gemini. I'm very disappointed in Anthropic and Google right now, and I'm mostly relying on OpenAI stuff.
That's weird, really, really. But even with some just very simple questions, sometimes it's just giving like really bad appearance. Even there was a joke about like washing the car. Do you want like you're asking ChatGPT? Like it was a joke that I need to wash my car. What do you think it's better, like to go by foot or like on the car, or to ride on the car? And ChatGPT answers, yeah, it's better. Like it's 300 meters away, so it's better to go by foot. And I tried this with ChatGPT, with Gemini, and Gemini, like all models, like correctly answers, but ChatGPT like really makes this mistake.
I know. And what's newer here in GPT 5.3 model, for example, when you ask a request, instead of saying, hey, here is the answer for your question you asked, it just answers you directly, and the conversations feels more like natural. Okay, let's switch to another topic. It's related to Air from JetBrains. It's multi-agent development. So if you have a lot of tickets to do, you can ask different models to prepare some solution for every ticket, and it has been done in a parallel way. So all agents works individually, doesn't interact with each other. And closer to the end, they provide you a clear result for your request. And after that, they could just say, hey, would you like to save these changes and maybe create a pull request? So for me, that sounds like very cool solution, because previously we were stuck in one agent mode when the agent solved one task for some period of time, for example, 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Here is a little bit another approach. You provide the AI some tasks, and closer to the end, they provide you results for different ones, and you can quickly switch between them.
I like the call to action button they have on the top right side. Get some air.
Yes, yeah, that's really cool. And the name just air.dev on their website, it's also very interesting. Okay, let's switch to Copilot Cowork. Copilot just decide to simplify our routine tasks like creating meetings, analyzing some emails or presentations, etc. And instead of doing everything manually, you can ask this agent just to, for example, analyze when we can schedule a meeting with this person. And the AI analyzes and says, hey, here we have some time slots for everything, and you can schedule a meeting with this person in these time slots. What would be better to suit for this? And additionally add some meeting notes, meeting purposes, etc., why this meeting has been created, etc. So that's, in my opinion, really cool. So you don't need to check calendar or something else. You just need to create a meeting, for example, for 1 hour, for 1 hour for every person there, and they will find a good time. Also, it creates some follow-ups after the meeting, after, for example, you don't have time to read emails. I don't know how much busy you need to be, but for example, you don't have enough time to do that. It can check everything inside, all the presentation, or prepare the presentation for you, research, etc. So it's more like a helper for your routine tasks inside your job. I don't know, maybe more from email side, from presentations, etc. So it's something like that. And also Google created almost the same way, but works more with Google Docs and spreadsheets. I will explain. So previously you had an AI agent just to build some charts, etc. But right now it helps you to create documents. For example, you have some specific topic. You ask this agent to create a document, for example, Google Docs, and it analyzes all of the data they could find, and after that it creates you a completely ready document where you can, for example, review, ask to add some additional images, etc. What I really like that they added this agent additionally to tables, Excel tables, and instead of searching for the formula or building by their own, you just ask a task and it creates a formula for you. And a very impressive thing that when you have some documents or Google spreadsheets, you can combine them and ask the AI agent, hey, could you please combine them and create a presentation for me? And it creates a presentation based on your research or your research with AI engine. So that sounds like they are moving in that way that you don't need to do a lot of stuff. Everything would be made by you. Will you use such Copilot, Cowork, or Google Docs? Or maybe you would like to try?
I haven't tried yet any like slides creations. I usually, to be honest, last couple months, my approach is to do deep research, do some manual research, then put some structure into Notion, and then share a Notion page with whoever need to consume this. If the page must be like commented or adjusted by others, then I just put on the Google Docs with comments mode, and that's it. The reason why I'm doing this, because I see that I am personally quite skeptical about the presentation like fully generated by AI or policy some generated by AI. My opinion is that if another person haven't put enough effort and just ask AI to generate some, I don't know, policy or presentation and send this presentation to me, why should I like put any effort to review this presentation? So same as I treat these presentations, I just open it, quickly scroll and close. So that's why I'm, always doing this by myself. So I don't want to give others like fully kind of bullshit generated by AI. I want to give my personal thoughts, personal insights. Maybe I'm wrong, and I will be definitely much more wronger than AI. But that would be my thoughts, because I have more context because of what I am doing. So that's what is my thoughts about Gen AI presentations and documents.
Yes, but for example, when I prepare a presentation, I find some materials by my own. I just add some slides that would be on the presentation or divide them, and after that I start to create the slides. But here is a real instrument for you. You just prepared everything you need, and the presentation would be visually visualized for you. So for me, that sounds like really cool because you prepared all need materials. Maybe images would be prepared by AI, but you definitely created this presentation. Only AI just added slides and some styles, edges, or something like that. For me, that sounds like very interesting. But as you said, when everything was generated by AI, of course, it's not very interesting to review or just watch because everything would be very general and you can't agree or disagree with this information.
That's interesting, by the way, because of course, if you prepared all of the information and then AI just generates the slides, the question is how will it generate and will it lose some context or not? But I think that this is pretty promising because it's looking like it works with some Google Stitch and so on, what I will tell about later. I think that it can prepare cool slides. And if you are not professional in presentations, then probably it's the best way how to make them. But of course, if you have some style guides, you have your brand book of our company, for example, and it has to follow it. Also not sure how it will work, but just to make the presentation for yourself and you want to present it for colleagues or I don't know, somewhere in the university, of course, probably it's really cool stuff. I agree.
Yes, but let's imagine AI generated all of the information, AI created a presentation, AI reviewed the presentation, and after that they just prepared something new. Sounds like very weird.
In the future, it will be probably something like a craft beer, so prepared by real humans. It will cost a lot, but everybody will prefer it because even now to read AI-generated messages somewhere in social networks, it's pretty awful, I think.
By the way, have you heard about this latest model change? I don't remember. Is this OpenAI or Claude? So they replaced this long dash. This is the marker how to detect if it's AI, the long dash. So they replaced with 2 short dashes. And in Twitter, the bloggers or people who had automations and they generate lots of posts written by AI, those messages start getting these two dashes, 2 small dashes. And that was funny because people who found this marker, they just immediately found who is not writing personal thoughts.
I always wrote long dashes because I'm a designer and I know that it's like when to use like short dash and when to use long dash.
By the way, and also like people who came from the journalism, who writing like articles to medias. We have, for example, in Ralabs, so we have a couple people who work in media, so they used to write long dash, and in articles they still writing long dash. And when I was reviewing the article, I just highlighting this long dash and asked, hey, why did we generate this part of the article by AI? And this person was confused, like, what do you mean by AI? This was written by me. I was not generated by AI. So I said, I'm sorry, I didn't know that it's common practice. So, but yes.
Option shift and dash. It will make long dash for you.
Option
Yeah.
shift and dash. Okay,
Actually,
thank
there
you.
are like multiple types of dashes, like M dash, N dash, something like that. And AI used one of them, and it was really easy to identify AI-based tags. But long dash is pretty common thing. I also sometimes use it, but as it's not like a character that AI used. So yeah.
There is two types of long. There is like long dash, and there is kind of like medium sized dash. So what I'm also doing, I'm using the, I think it's option and dash is giving like medium size. I don't know, medium size
Oh.
maybe. And there is also long dash, which is used by AI. So
Medium
anyway,
size,
apologies.
I think that it's minus. But yeah.
I know also about the dashes that they could be bold, a medium size, and bold long size dashes.
You see, Google released the whole like big products generate presentations, and we are discussing the dashes. That's what people worried about, not about the full of autonomous, but about
Yes.
simple dashes.
Yes, about the dashes. That's more important rather than creating a presentation with Google. Okay, let's switch back. What I want to add here additionally that all of these features are paid, so you can't use them for free, of course. Let's switch to another news. AMD created a new AI Pro 400 series CPU for desktop. And that's really great news because finally you can run AI models without slow performance on your local machines. I will try to explain, for example, when you use CPU without AI module, it will work slower because CPU doesn't know how to handle all of the requests from AI and it starts compute from the scratch. So it just compute, it provides you result, and you feel something like it's struggling to complete the tasks. You feel that your CPU starts to overheating or maybe more power consumption, etc. When you have these AI blocks, it definitely knows how to handle all of these requests and start to process them faster. Previously, these AI CPUs were available only for mobile platforms. I mean, laptops, maybe some tablets. I'm not sure about that, but who knows. But right now, it's available on the desktop, and they started with 3 different models. It's 435, 440, 450. Everything is letter G. G means graphical unit. First two has a Radeon 840M graphics, and the last one has 860M graphics. They are not very powerful for gaming, but more than enough to handle AI tasks or general things like computing or doing some other stuff. And also power consumption, as always, 65 watts. That's really cool because you don't need to buy very expensive cooling system for all of the things. Well, that's very deep news about CPUs. Want to add something or switch to the latest one that I prepared for today?
Let's do the last one.
Okay, sure. And I want to talk a little bit about MacBook Neo. That's a very cool product in my opinion because first of all, they've created a laptop that didn't cost a lot for all of the money, but they provides enough productivity and power efficiency for general tasks. The price is very specific because from $600, it's very hard to find a good Windows laptop, especially with aluminum, because previously, as I remember, everything were super cheap comparing to this laptop. And I read a lot of news that other companies like Asus, Dell, Hewlett Packard started arguing about that because they just said, "Hey, we can't compete with this laptop. It's very hard for such a price. How did you do that?" But of course, it's not very ideal. There are a lot of downsides. It's very hard to say that that's a downside, but where they just try to simplify the production. And first of all, it's only 36-watt battery, but power consumption is not very high, so you can work a lot of time on this laptop on battery. Also, it has only 2 USB-C ports and no MagSafe. One port is 2.0, so you can only charge the laptop. Of course, you don't have a keyboard backlight. Of course, trackpad does only mechanical. You can just feel this, weight, for example, when you want to highlight something or do some other stuff. But the colors overall are really good. I really like this yellow color. It's very stylish, in my opinion. It's very fashionable and something like that. Also, they added a new model for this laptop with not only 256 gigabytes of storage and additionally 512 gigabytes of storage. So in my opinion, that would be a good choice for people who just want to have a laptop with power of mobile phones, maybe, because they used chip A18, if I'm not mistaken, from previous iPhone generations. But the performance overall is really nice. And people who just strived in a general task, they just said, oh, it's more than enough nowadays for performing such general tasks or even for video editing, etc. One interesting fact that it doesn't have a really good cooling system. So adding some custom solutions could increase your productivity twice because this CPU is overheating. And yes, unfortunately, and you'll feel that shortly. But overall, yep.
By the way, I just read yesterday that with some extra modifications to its thermal system, people were able to run modern games with a constant 60 FPS.
Yeah.
So it's quite
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
I also read it yesterday. This is very good product. I really read a lot of articles about it and watched some videos. Basically, I don't know why, because why I'm doing it, because I was thinking about upgrading my wife's laptop. She has like M1 MacBook Air. I was thinking about upgrading to something with 16 gigabytes of RAM or 24, because you know that for the next few years it will be a problem with random access memory and SSDs because actually of the AI. And this one, it has only 8, but it's really interesting product because I also read this Asus CEO probably said that the industry is in shock, the PC industry, because really, if you are Asus, for example, you need to like buy AMD or Intel processors, yes, and this companies also has to earn some money on these processors, and Apple just like making it all by themselves so they can do it cheaper. Also, like this 8 gigabytes of RAM looks like it's enough for macOS. Of course, not for everything. I know that with like Photoshop and Illustrator and Figma, you can like easily like use all of the memory, not only random access, but also on the SSD. It will be there just quickly like vanished. But when I saw all of these videos with this machine, I was shocked. Like it can open up to 60 apps, and they are working well. It can you can work with Final Cut without any lags. You can like do almost everything. The two big disadvantages of this laptop, I think that it's only like first it's Type C, like it's really slow. Type C is one of this is 3.0 or 3.1, I don't remember, and another one is 2.0, and it's you just really can use it only to charge it. And another downside, I think that is really like lack of SSD. If it was like one more model with 1 terabyte, I think it's top. So it's really good product.
Yes, I agree, and I believe that finally the prices for laptops starts to go to the bottom, closer to the bottom, and finally we'll see better products with from other vendors. And one interesting fact that I forgot to tell, that charger only 20 watts, so you can find your old phone charger and use in this laptop. So that's really cool. You don't need to.
Also the downgrade because it doesn't charge. It cannot be charged faster than 25 watts, I suppose. So even if you like connect it to 100 watt charger, it will not charge faster.
Yes, but the battery one is 36, so you don't need to care about that. Okay, that's all from my side. If you want to discuss, let's discuss. If not, let's. Yuri, maybe you would like to share something.
Okay, let me share my screen. So basically, what I found very exciting this month is the fact that Google Chrome actually starts supporting vertical tabs. It's experimental feature, but finally Google Chrome looks like my favorite Arc browser, which is dead, unfortunately. And today I'm gonna be like a little bit more CLI ambassador here. I will talk about terminal and some other.
GPT CLI ambassador, I would say.
Yeah. Something like that, mix of those. So finally, my favorite terminal emulator was released on March. This 1.3 version was released, and finally I can recommend this terminal to my normies friends because it added search. Scrollback search to terminal. It was like previously was not there were some workarounds to do search in your like terminal buffer. Now it's included, and it's like really cool and very user friendly. So Ghostly is actually really fast one, really cool. It tries to like standardize some things that other terminals are doing, and they have this thing like entire Ghostly terminal is built on top of libghosty, and thing is like other people can build like terminals on top of it. And one of the more interesting projects I found is Echo Terminal. That's purely for iOS and iPadOS. And now I can connect to my MacBook and run some agent stuff from my iPhone. And it's like fully optimized terminal to use on a mobile device. It's even has a little knob to control your cursor, very similar to how you like use your gamepad, for example. And I'm bringing this to highlight this service I found. It's like a tool to connect all your devices into one virtual network. I actually have like all my devices connected right now, and I just need to add my VPS in Google Cloud to this network as well. But now I can like connect to my MacBook or virtual machine from anywhere in the world, and to run some stuff, to check some progress of my agents, etc. Speaking of agents, yesterday OpenAI finally released a plugin system to Codex. And right now plugins are limited to skills and apps, basically MCP stuff only. Very similar to how Claude Code does plugins and how Claude distributes their custom instructions. So yeah, like very interesting to see how it goes, what will be there available, but I will expect more AI slop on GitHub with all these like trick instructions and not very secure practices to be spread around. Yeah, but take a look and yeah, like there are a bunch of stuff. And I think like I'm kind of spoiling right now, but Sergey will talk about Figma and Figma MCP, and there are already some integrations for Codex to fetch stuff from Figma. But also I see a huge discourse again regarding MCP versus CLI stuff, because CLIs are more token efficient. So, for example, Google recently released CLI for their Google Workspace. So I can connect to my Gmail, my calendar, my Google Drive, and to fetch data there using CLI tools. And really, like, it's much more efficient than using Google MCP stuff, Google Workspace MCP. So yeah, like really recommend to take a look into this one and to replace, if possible, all your like MCPs. And speaking about another like CLI stuff, if you know, like there is this app Obsidian. It's very popular among developers and researchers. It's like helps to maintain knowledge base, and they also released their like CLI for agents to be able access your data. And interesting bit about this one is it built around how agents work with CLI, how agents like want to call CLIs, because it doesn't use typical bash flags, etc. It has its own syntax that is very agent friendly. So it's a kind of different paradigm to build such software and to integrate with LLMs. And of course, like there are some skills how agents can use this CLI to fetch nodes, to access your knowledge base, access your data, and to build on top of this. So yeah, that's all I have for today.
That was very quickly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's quite quickly,
Yeah.
but informative.
Yeah, I'm very efficient.
You are, because of ChatGPT and CLI. CLI
Yeah.
is more efficient.
Yeah.
You know, in Spain, do you know how they read ChatGPT?
No.
Try to guess how they read ChatGPT.
GPT?
GPT? No, it's Spain. It's not India.
Chat GPT.
Yes,
Yeah?
they don't read G. They read H. So it's ChatGPT.
GPT.
GPT.
Yeah. Yes. So it's correct.
That's like Jose and Jose.
Jose. See.
Yeah.
Yes. So ChatGPT.
Interesting.
And in the USA, they do not say Claude, they say something like Claude.
Claude.
Claude, not Cloud and not Claude, but Claude, something like that.
Ask GPT. Sounds very interesting.
ChatGPT. Okay, so Serhi, you're the final one, the design.
Just a second. Do you see my screen?
Yep. We see NanoBanana.
Yeah, so my first news will be, because I'm a designer, about NanoBanana 2. Actually, it's like the combination of NanoBanana Pro, and Google says that it's also so cool and that it's much faster. The reason why I'm talking about NanoBanana actually is because nowadays we are almost not using like some stock images, stock icons, and so on and so forth, especially on different projects where like a lot of graphics is needed, we are generating a really huge amount of stuff, and NanoBanana probably is the best one where we can do it. They were released like in the end of the February, and Google says that it has flash speed and it's also as efficient as NanoBanana Pro. But I would say from my perspective that it's a bit of a downgrade even from NanoBanana 1 Pro, because for me, like, it's generating not so good, not so decent images, and it's not understanding my prompt so well. Of course, probably I'm mistaken, but now we are, me and our team, we are using some tools like FreePic, where we can like use different models to generate images. And I'm like oftenly when I'm like trying to generate something, I'm just taking two models. So I'm giving the same prompt to NanoBanana 1 Pro and NanoBanana 2. And the result of like second NanoBanana is a bit more disappointing for me. Maybe it's faster, but it's also not always like that, because sometimes like the servers are like too busy and it can generate images even for a few minutes. But in general, of course, like first one and the second one, they are much better than ChatGPT and some Chinese models. Like, of course, NanoBanana is still the best. The only thing that we are missing still is that ChatGPT actually can generate images with transparent background with this alpha layer, but NanoBanana still cannot do it. Our graphic designers are using a lot to combine some pieces, so they can generate like 10 different images and combine them like in Photoshop and do some like cool images. But like in general, the quality is pretty decent. But as for me, like the second one is not so cool as the first one. I don't know, guys, do you use NanoBanana or something like that for like generating something? Or we are only one designers who are like working with that closely?
I use it only to generate some like meme pictures for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use, but as I realized, I need to wait for the third version.
Maybe 2 Pro.
I'm not using quite frequently. I tried only to make some good photos for some speeches, presentation. I mean, photos of myself, like photo shoot, like professional shoot. And it asked me it needed me a couple iterations to make the proper like face lines, the eyes, hair, so lots of details. But yes. And but I'm not using quite frequently for daily things because NanoBanana is not giving me good diagrams, for example.
Yeah.
And on the previous podcast, Yuri shared Mermaid AI, so that works much more better for me, like for diagrams. And maybe relevant to NanoBanana, what I heard about not about Google but about OpenAI, that they decided to drop the Sora video generation.
News, yeah.
Yeah, and I read the reason why they decided. You have this. Sorry, I would not take this.
I will say about Sora also few words, because actually nowadays we are also even generating videos for some of our projects. There was like very interesting story when we had like very tight deadlines, and we first were trying to like use like some freelance motion designers who could like create something for us, but using some specific like technology, and it didn't work. And there was only a few days before the deadline, and we decided to try to generate some video for animation for our app. And I used actually not Sora, but I used Google Veo and probably Clink. So I combined like two two parts of one video with two different models, and it was pretty awesome. So it was really like released, and there was a campaign for 2 weeks, and this video worked pretty well. Yeah, and regarding Sora, I understand why they closed, because as I heard, maybe I'm wrong, but I heard that they were losing about 30 millions per day. Am I correct, Roman?
I don't know.
So like it's very expensive to do models like this, and Sora was probably the most expensive to create the video in cost of credits. Yeah, so if we are talking about the same apps like FreePic, where you can generate images, and also you can generate videos, and you can choose between different models. So Sora was the most expensive, and it didn't make so cool as, for example, Google Veo or Chinese Kling. So yeah, maybe I'm not so sad about it that OpenAI closes Sora, but in general, probably not a lot of companies will survive in the future, I think, because I have read that they're losing a huge amount of money only on Sora, but in general, that OpenAI they in the minus, but Sora probably eats the most amount of money per day. Yeah, something like that.
Well, that's a good news and a bad news, because we'll see less YouTube videos generated by Sora. Because a few days ago, I started to watch some AI-generated videos, and I see, oh, that's cool. That sounds like really cool. I need to watch some more videos from this channel. But when I realized that they generated by AI, I started to think, what's wrong with my life? I started to enjoy AI-generated videos. That's weird.
Yeah, that's really weird. I'm not sure what to say about it. Maybe I agree that, especially regarding kids and regarding some YouTube shorts or TikToks, so many content is now generated by AI, and this content is really poor about the quality and about the content in general, about its context. So yeah, it's very discussable question. Sometimes it's really helpful, as I mentioned in this my first case that I described, that sometimes you just need to generate quickly some animation, and it's really helpful. But regarding the content in general, so when we will see the full movies generated by AI and so on and so forth, yeah, it's very discussable. Okay, so if you do not have any other questions or comments regarding this, I will switch to the next one. It's what will happen probably in the next few months is that this cooperation of designers and developers will be closer and closer, because Figma released agents, and this is very interesting news. So I tried already to install new plugin to Claude to upgrade the MCP server communication, and now Figma works with Claude vice versa. So sometimes you can generate something in Figma, design something in Figma, and then take it into Claude. And now you can generate something in Claude, or give some examples in Claude, and then ask to redesign all of this stuff in Figma using your component library, or just to create the design from scratch. And it's really cool, because I think that in the future it will look like you give to Claude or to Codex some wireframes and say, hey, I have the design system in this file in Figma, please create the prototype like based on these wireframes. It already works, but not perfectly, of course. I tried to do it by myself, and there was like something works cool, something is not. There are some mistakes, and I saw a lot of videos where also guys tried to like using the design system, and sometimes like you go to Figma and you see that it just regenerated the components from scratch and they are not linked with the design system. Sometimes it exports not so well, but in general it's pretty amazing. So I think that in a few months they will fix all of these bugs, and it will work very, very well. And designers will be able to do something like in Claude maybe, or in Figma and Claude, and update your like design design files immediately, like by some prompts, and go back to Claude and like create already like something on React, or like actually the front end.
Some prototyping, I mean. So designers will produce. We were talking about this with Andrew, by the way, that that the solo specialization, like you are a designer, or you are a backend developer, or you are a front-end developer, or you're in DevOps. It seems like this phase of our career is transforming as well. So you already, I think, see it by yourself that designers can produce not only like picture, image, but also some clickable proto. You already did this through Figma,
Yeah,
but now you have more tools that. Now we have a mix of designer / front end. It's not fully front end, of course, because front end is not only about UI, right?
Yeah.
It's about some local storage, session storage, mobile markup, so many things others. But still, designers can produce their final work can be not only pure design prototype Figma, but might be something next, which a real front-end person can bring up and just improve.
Yeah, I think that this year will be like very interesting regarding this, and I'm sure that in the future designers will not only make the design, but like also generate some code. Yeah, and but this approach, like with Claude, with like MCP server, which works like in both ways, this for me is very clear, promising, and I think that in the future, in the nearest future, it will become much more comfortable. But the last topic is about like this vibe designing with Stitch. It's like new thing from Google. Probably you all heard about it because like it was like something very loud. I don't know. I don't know actually why. But Google released like this tool called Stitch, and like it can generate the design by prompt. It works. I also tried it. It works. So you can like ask, for example, to create, I don't know, weather app, and it will like do something. It will prepare for you a few slides. It will prepare some. They call it, for I don't know why, but they call it design system. It's not the design system. It's some styles and maybe some components. But it cannot be like modified by yourself, so it can be modified like as you do it in Figma. It can only be modified by like adding some another prompts, or like choosing something from, I don't know, colors, font styles, and so on. And it doesn't like produce the code. So for me, like this tool, like it was released maybe too late, or maybe I don't understand the reason why it was released. But for me, it's not like fully something that I want to use. I don't know for what reason should I use it. Yeah, maybe you guys heard some other like topics about it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe in the future they will release something more. Maybe it's just the part of what they want to show us. But for me, like it's like something half working, something like that.
I haven't heard, but looks very interesting.
This looks very interesting, but I don't understand what is the purpose of this service.
Yeah.
Because Google have a bunch of like experimental services they would like to shut down, and I would not bet on this one to live long enough. For example, last year on Google, like I think Google I/O conference, they introduced Firebase Studio, and it was like fully agentic online IDE. And now they are shutting down it because they have anti-gravity, they have Google AI Studio, they have this Stitch, and
Mhm.
yeah,
By the way, my bet they will shut down anti-gravity.
yeah, I think so as well.
Interesting that like today we have like something for example Figma Make. Yeah, so you have in the Figma you have this tool Figma Make, which works also as cloud code, so you can generate some design like internally in Figma, and it will like be published as a website. It makes a code on React. I think that it uses Claude Sonnet. Also, we have the tool like Lovable. It's also just prompt to design. So you're writing prompts, you can create websites, you can publish them, you can support them, and so on. It also like generates design and code. The only advantage of this like Google Stitch is maybe that you can generate design by prompt and then you can copy it into Figma. I don't think that you even can copy design generated in Figma Make onto Canvas in Figma. So you can just like keep it inside of Figma Make, and this Lovable as well. So you can like connect MCP, and you can like take something from Figma into Lovable. Maybe in the future you can do it also both ways, as for now it's available for Codex and Cloud Code. But you cannot like modify it in Figma. Yeah, so you can just like create it for now in Lovable and or export it from Figma. And this Google Stitch, the advantage is that you can like generate some design by prompt, and then you can move it to Figma, and then you can like update it in Figma if it's like if you don't like it very much. Yeah, maybe this is the advantage. Also, it like creates some canvas, yeah, like in Figma, and you see all of your screens, and you can like interact with these screens that was generated, but you cannot like edit them as like fully as in Figma. You can only like interact with them by prompts and some like drop downs. Yeah, but I don't know, maybe for some freelancers, maybe for some junior designers, for inspiration, for inspiration, basically, it's like a good tool. But all other, like for professionals, I don't know, for some professional cases, it's not suitable as for me. Yeah, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, okay, guys. I think that was very interesting, all of the updates. So we are more than 1 hour. It's a bit faster than previous one, but still, we should somehow optimize this. So I would like to say thank you, everyone who listening to this, and thank you for preparing all of this. So let's see in the next months. And we again forgot to ask everyone to put the like and subscribe on this podcast because we are unprofessional bloggers yet. So we're asking like and subscribe, and see you next month. So thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.